Alright, it's Big Dog 448 EDMAB, I don't know, 2K18 or whatever. I can't remember my name is anymore. I made a video in a week or so, and probably not going to get a whole lot of views, but I just want to have my voice heard and go from here. So I think in the last video I was talking about the whole Galchenyuk and Domi trade, and maybe it was just a matter of a change of scenery for both players, and Domi had a horrible year last year in Arizona, and Chucky still hasn't found his game since being moved all over the place from being on a wing to back to center to being a third, fourth line player, when really he was drafted to be a center. He was supposed to be our number one, but never did. So that's just doesn't make any sense what Montreal's thought process is, especially Bergevin's. However, I went through their list of players they have now of people who played center, and none of them are proven to be the guy, like the number one center that they've been needing for so many years. They have Philippe Deneau, but he's not a number one center. He might play okay with Pacioretty. I think they had an okay year 2 years ago. De La Rose, they've been moving all over the place. He was honestly from like the third or fourth line guy all the to playing number one. They were just looking for anyone. Drouin, again, he's a winger. He's always been a winger. He was a winger in Tampa. So if he's a winger in Tampa, what makes you think he's going to come over to Montreal and win faceoffs here? And by the way, he didn't really have much success in his first season. So unless he's going to spend every single day in the off season learning how to win a draw, he's not the answer. That Freeze guy, again, not number one center. I think we just acquired him from Toronto or something like that. Charles Hudon, again, not a number one center. He can win draws. As a matter of fact, I think Hudon's won more draws in his little tenure with Montreal than Drouin did in his whole season, first full season with the Habs. So it's hard to say. We also acquired Matthew Pekka in no relation to Mike Pekka, which, I mean, if they were related, then hell, that'd be an awesome acquisition, because I believe Pekka was a pretty good centerman in his during his NHL career. And then we brought back Plekanec, but again, he's just up there in age. He's no more than the third or fourth line center. He's not going to help us win the important draws when we need to. So it's just nice to have him back, I guess, as a Hab, so he can finish his career here and go from there. So yeah, and we had a chance all off season or to try and make some trades or try to lure players in. Obviously, Tavares signed that deal with Toronto, which totally screws us, because he's just going to dominate the Habs for the 7 years that he signed. And then there was also rumors about possibly going after a guy like Paul Stastny, and that fell through. He's now in Vegas. Good luck to you there. He had an awesome time. He had an awesome little bit in Winnipeg, and I'm surprised the Jets didn't try to re-sign him. Maybe they had a cap issue, I don't know, but a great acquisition by the Golden Knights to acquire Stastny. And then there's also a possible trade with Ryan O'Reilly of Buffalo, and that fell through. And now he's a member of the Blues. So 3 centermen, which is something that we desperately needed, are now gone. And I don't know who's left for potential free agents. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure we still had that $9 million cap space or whatever extra money from last offseason going into this season, and we still have no one there to really spend it on. So I don't know what their what Bergevin's thought process is, and I really hope that when we do horrible this season, that he's out of a job. And then Jeff Molson will be like, wow, he's not doing a good job. And fans, I'm not trying to tell you to boycott the place, but the less asses in the seat, the less money coming into Jeff Molson's pocket. So hopefully that'll be a wake-up call for them to do something, to bring someone with brain smarts to actually get the team together and actually play hockey, because they're just running around with like chicken with their head cut off. They don't know how to play together. There's no chemistry. That's basically the biggest thing there. And now that Price is in that big massive contract, which is like $10 million a year, he's not getting any younger. I mean, he can only stop pucks. He can't score goals. So unless you're going to have Price be your number one center, your top scorer, play the best defense ever, and then stop pucks, unless you want Price basically out there by himself, I don't know what to say. I mean, you got them locked up. Your best player is making $10 million, and then after that it's Weber, who's an aging defenseman, 34, 35. I could be mistaken, and your two best players on your team are your goalie and your defenseman. If I was paying someone $10 million a year, I would expect them to put the puck in the opponent's net, not stopping the pucks from going into our net. So, you want to build a championship team, Bergevin, you better do something with this season, because I'm telling you, there's no excuse why you still have a job when you are doing a horrible job at what you're doing. And our defense is just too slow. If this had been back in like 04, 03, whatever the case may be, this would be great, because you would have needed toughness and all this other stuff. Now the game is all about speed. Players are getting faster every single year. And if you have a slow defense, look behind you, and then the other team is on a breakaway or 2-on-1, whatever the case may be, you're too slow. So guys like Alsner and Jordy Ben and gosh only knows who else we got. They're not fast enough to keep up with these young talents that are coming up, the young prospects and all this other stuff. So you need someone like that. You need a puck-moving defenseman, and you don't have it. You gave up Subban a year or 2 years ago. You gave up Sergachev last year, and now look at them. They're excelling with their new teams, Nashville and Tampa Bay, respectively. So, I mean, I don't know what you're trying to do. I saw in your little press conference there that you want to try to build a Stanley Cup contender or try to make the Stanley Cup playoff, but it's going to be impossible to do that when you don't have the key pieces that you need nowadays in order to contend. And now with teams like Toronto, with getting Tavares, they're like a locked-in team to make the playoffs. With a team like Tampa Bay, when you have Stamkos and Kucherov running the show there, they are guaranteed to make the playoffs. Boston's a pretty good team. I hate to say it because I'm not a Bruins fan at all, but when you have guys like Bergeron, Krejci, Pasternak, Marchand, I hate that little guy, but got to respect them. They're a pretty good group of guys. And so those are like three teams that are locked in to make the playoffs next year. So if you're Montreal, you have to try and squeeze into that wild card spot. And I mean, you have too many good teams in the other division. I just don't see that happening. So unless you make a major splash somehow and make a huge trade, like give up like the next 10 first-round picks to bring someone in. Like, I don't know what else to say. This is just ridiculous. Like, you got 2 months or whatever it is before training camp starts. Sorry. So I don't know what else you can do. Like, there's no more big names out there for players that are all gone to other teams. So I guess I have next year's draft to look forward to, and maybe there's going to be another superstar upcoming that we can potentially draft. But as long as Bergevin's in charge, probably not, because they'll probably just trade away a pick or something for that. So hopefully the list of people that I said earlier that were playing center last year can hopefully win some draws and take it one game at a time. That's all I have for today. Go Habs, go.